Hi traders and welcome. I'm going to do an update on the commodity complex in this video. I'm going to look at oil, natural gas, gold, silver, and copper. So let's get started. We'll start with US oil, WTI. And suddenly this has become very, very bullish now. So I'm expecting them to come and break 113.97 again. And that would give us 5 waves. I'm going to drill in a little bit, 2-hour chart here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I got to drill into the 30-minute here. They got to break it one more time because so far all we have is 1, 2, 3 waves. So like this very much looks like 4, and so it should come back up for the 5th wave. And then that would complete 5 waves. And then it really matters on if they break the previous high, 119.48, because I still don't know what this right here was. March 19 through the 22nd. There's 3 ways I can look at this. So I always thought that this was 1, 2, and then 3, and then a really quick little AB, and then a big C, kind of a wick all the way down. And now we would have 5 waves. So in the end, this would be an a quick B, and then a 5 wave for C. And if they don't break 119.48 and they're up here, there's the possibility that they could like come all the way down to 76 again before they would head up. And I'm just basing that on the quickness of this correction right here. It just was very quick. I mean, what did it take? March 8th at 9 o'clock to March 10 at 10 o'clock. Yeah, so barely 2 days correction. When you look at how, I'm going to go out to 1 hour, how long the first wave took to build up for that that quick of a correction. It's possible. Definitely came deep enough, but just from an overall look, like this looks like more like an A wave to me, and then we're getting the B wave followed by a C wave, and then you're ready to go back up. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do, assuming that they're going to break 113.97. Do they go all the way up to 119? Because if not, it leaves the door open for them to come all the way down, or at least down into the 80s, low 80s. If they do break it, then oil is obviously really bullish, because this was 1, and then this would be 2, but then this would be 1 right there, and then this would all just be a correction, an ABC, and that would be 2. So you'd have 1, 2, and then this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let's say this 5th wave goes and they do break 119 on this final up move. This would be 3. So then you'd have 1, 2, 3 here. You get a 4 and a 5, but then you'd still have this 1 and 2, which means like if it's getting really impulsive, I mean, it's either this is 1 and 2, or it could be A and B, and then this will be a 5 wave, and then you'll get a correction and up. So we would have to wait and see. But like all of a sudden, like oil then definitely looks like it's going to at least 130. So yeah, like this little area here will be very interesting to see what they do, because if it breaks 119, then there's probably going to be a lot more up. So yeah, watch. I'm very early next week. Like futures will open Sunday night, and if there's any development in Iran, negative development, we'll spike above 119 for sure. So Yeah, Sunday night and into Monday, I think you're going to get your answer on what happens up here, and then that dictates just how high they're going to go, or is this maybe coming down. So that's what I see on oil. Let's take a quick look at natural gas. Now they've completed 5 waves in a diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then uh, they got 3 waves for 5. So, but it's still hard to even call that the 5th wave is done yet, because they could this could be A and B, and then this could be 1 and 2, and they're still going to be coming down for like a 3, a 4, and a 5, and this 5 might come below that February low. On this chart, it's 2.77. So we've got 5 waves. I could put the 5 right there, but there's no confirmation yet that this 5th wave is in, and not until they come back above 293 on this chart, the high on April 1st, then that starts to look more like that the 5 is done, because I think that's if they're going to go down more, I think that's 2, and then they should be going down further for the 3, 4, and 5. So if they break that, I think then we got our 5 waves in, and then this will be making should be making a pretty sizable correction before it heads lower. So yeah, it'd be tough to want to be a seller if you're not in natural gas. I'd only want to be a buyer, because either the 5 is in, or it's nearing 5 waves. But like I said, they could go under this 277 to complete this 5th wave. We just don't know if it's in or if they got a little bit more down. But yeah, this 5 waves is nearing its end. So I'd actually only want to be looking to buy, but you got to get, I think, confirmation, because this could still drift down several percent more. All right, let's go on to gold. So gold, it's looking a little bit bullish on the short term, just because we do have 3 waves, and they're getting close to the 3rd wave target up here if they're going to make a diagonal. So a little bit higher up into 5.7 or 5.8 into this range. Then that looks like, we've got an ABC, and this would be 1, and this 3 wave down into the green box was 2, and then that could be 3, and then you could be on your way getting a correction for 4, but then still going up for 5. So it's looking good for maybe a diagonal for a bigger correction, but it's got to I think it's got to get up into this blue box to kind of confirm that. Otherwise, it's just a 3 wave, and it could be just 3 wave correction, and then gold is going down to break it slow. Overall, I think there's a lot more down in gold, because when I go out, let me go out to a 4 hour, but now I go out to a daily chart. To me, this looks very much like they're doing a diagonal here. So 1 and 2, and then we had this big leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways up for the A wave. Quick, super quick correction, flash crash back in July, and then pushed up. So we had an ABC, and so that could be the 3rd wave. So 1, 2, 3, and so I think they're going to come down for they've already started coming down, obviously, for the 4th wave, but I don't think this is, and there are 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3, and it hit right at the top of the purple box. But as far as a diagonal goes, like, that look just wouldn't look right, because this, if I draw the lines, connect the 2 to the 4, it just cuts through so much price, and that's very, very rare that a diagonal will do that. The price should stay kind of contained in the lines. That's why I think the 4 will end more at the bottom of this purple box. So like in the 4.45 range, somewhere down here. So that's why I think we're in the fourth wave. And I think that this 3 wave move down, this was just like the A wave. And this is just going to turn out to be the B wave. And the B wave will probably come up into like 5.9 range, maybe up to 6, in a 3 wave move. And then you'd roll over and come down for that 4. So, and obviously, if this is the fourth wave, this could take quite a long time, because if we just go out to the daily, this 2 wave, the second wave, I mean, this over here was what, May of 2021 to July. Yeah, so this was over a year correction. So obviously we just started this, so that's why we could be up in this B wave for several months before we come down for 5 waves to complete the 4. So that's my base case, is that gold is now in this B wave, and it'll come up 5.9 to 6 before it rolls over. So it's going to take some time for this fourth wave to complete. The other alternative, if you're super bullish on gold, is that the third wave just isn't done yet. And so we've had a big ABC, and that was just the A wave of the third wave. So this was A, and then you got this 3 wave move, and it came right to a great place for a B wave. And now they're going to go up for a C wave, and this will be the third wave. And then you'll get the big 3 wave move down for 4. So it's possible that the third wave just is not in yet. So, gold, obviously, it would have to prove itself to do that. And if they do make 5 waves, and this is 1, and this is 2, and they do come up into this blue box for 3, and then they give just a 3 wave correction for a 4, and then they go up strong, preferably up into the 6.0 to 6.05 range in 3 waves, then I'm going to change my tune, because then this will be a big 5 wave move, a leading diagonal, which means you'll get a correction then, but then it's going higher, and then this doesn't look so corrective all of a sudden. And then I think they will target the high one more time to finish the third wave. So 2 ways to look at it: bull bear case. Obviously, the bull case has got some work to do to prove it. Otherwise, I think this could be making just a bigger correction to come down for that 4 before it goes up for the 5th wave. So that's what I see on gold. I'm sorry, copper. This has been copper. Now we're going to look at gold. So, and this is kind of why I feel like on copper that I think the third is in, and they will come down because of what I see in gold. So I think like the whole commodity metals complex will kind of follow suit, and it already has. Like copper's made this 3 wave correction, and gold has already started making. It's made a 3 wave correction, but it's looking very much to me like they're making a diagonal here, because as you can see, I got this labeled 1, 2, 3, and then this is the perfect range for the 4, and it's come right into it, and now we got a quick sell off and a bounce up. So it's there's 2 ways to look at it. So I'm thinking we're going down for the 5th wave, but a bull is going to say, no, this is 3 waves for 1, this is 2, this was 3, this will be just the 4th wave, and then we're going to go back up for the 5th wave. So but gold will have to prove itself. If they do this, then I am not going to say that gold is going down, because then we got this 5 wave move, which means we're going to get a correction and then still another strong wave move up, and then this won't be a diagonal. Now it still could go down, so we'll have to see like how this correction plays out. But for right now, just because of where it came into, if gold gives any, and we should have an answer, just like a lot of things, like on Monday, because if it breaks the high from Thursday, or actually from Wednesday, then yeah, then there's 5 waves. So then that changes everything. But if it kind of sells off and gets any kind of strength coming down, then that's just a 3 wave move, and that could be four, and then this is going to be coming down in a 3 wave move for the fifth wave. So and so one of these scenarios will play out, and I think they'll play out Monday, Tuesday at the latest. Either this high breaks again, which would signify 5 waves, which kind of invalidates a leading diagonal, um, or yeah, if it sells off, then I think it's coming down for 5 waves, and then gold actually would be buyable down under 4,100 somewhere, 4,000 ish, or upper threes, because then after this 5 wave move, you're going to get a sizable correction up, and that would be something worth the play for. So yeah, buying down here somewhere is would be good. Um, Buying right here, well, you have to have really strong conviction that this is going to go up for that fifth wave. But definitely, if it does go up, when they give that correction down, then that becomes very viable too. So I think patience is the best way to play a lot of things next week. It's got to, things have to prove itself. Even like on the indices, the Nasdaq and S&P, they got to prove themselves next week that they're going up, because everything is at a kind of a meaningful area where it could be going down one more time. All right, let's move on to silver. Same thing. Like I've been calling for an ending diagonal, because we've had this 3 wave move down. So I think this was A, and then we got this 3 wave move up, which I think is B. And then so far we've got 3 waves, 1, 2, 3. So I mean, this could be W, X, and then this was a Y wave, and now they're just going to either totally go up to break the high, or making another correction up for still more down. But for me, I would really love to see them make this diagonal here, because this would most likely, almost positively, be an ending diagonal if they could come down in 3 ways for the fifth wave, because then that's all this is, would be just A, B, and then this would be a C wave, and then silver looks really good under 60. So, but just like everything else, it dropped and then it bounced up, and so this green box, that's going to be, if you're bullish and you just want it to go up from right here, that's a key area, 66 to 68, because if that holds and then they start coming back up, then this is not going to be a diagonal. And quite frankly, if they even if they go up from right where it is right here and go break this high again, that invalidates this being a diagonal, because there'd be too many waves. Because right now it's A, B, C, W, X, Y. So we've got 3 waves, but if they come down and then they go up again, that's not 3 waves anymore. And then it just, this four, if it is a four, it just would be too big. It's already went up a little bit that these lines aren't quite parallel, which most diagonals are lately. But this still looks okay for the 4. But yeah, one more break of 76, and then I got to change that this is not going to be a diagonal, and then it's just a big WXY, and then like I said, then we could just be well, then this would be looking more like a leading diagonal, and again correction, then one more up, and then at that point you have to wait and see what's going to happen if they're going to go down. So to me, it's like it just would be so much easier to trade if they would just come straight down right now for the 5th wave, because then silver looks great under 60, something in the 50s. Silver looks really good. So let's see. Like I said, with most things, I think Monday, definitely by Tuesday, you'll have an answer that either this high is going to break or they'll be under 66. And then things look like they're coming to break this low and give us a 5th wave. So let's see what pattern plays out there. Okay, so that's it on the commodities. Hope it helps. Good luck to you all, and I'll see you next time.